Hey everyone, it's Ash here. Thank you so much for being with me today. We are on our 5th episode of Harmony Rising, so welcome. Today's episode is called The Heart as a Frequency Amplifier. So, welcome to Harmony Rising, where it's a sanctuary where peace, presence, and purpose rise together. I'm Ashley, and each episode is an invitation to slow down, breathe deeper, and come home to yourself. So let's go ahead and begin. So, welcome back. I'm grateful that you're here. You're choosing presence, you're choosing purpose, and most of all, you're choosing yourself. I'm so grateful for that. Today's episode is called The Heart as a Frequency Amplifier. So many times we talk about our gut and trusting our intuition, but I'm here to tell you so much of that actually comes from our heart, and we're really going to dig into that today. But before we dig into that, let's touch base on the reflection prompts we had from last week. Last week, we really talked about how our body holds a lot of the trauma, right? And how our body remembers so many things. And last week, after our video, I got to tell you, we talked about where our body holds tension and what our tension may be trying to tell us. That very day after I recorded the video, I actually had 2 panic attacks. Craziest thing. And so when I think about where my body was holding tension, it was actually in my chest, right? And when I was like trying to think through, like, man, I'm not really not stressed out. I'm not sure why I was holding tension there. I know there's a lot happening in the world. And it was so interesting because just yesterday I was talking with my brother, and, my brother's in the military. There's a lot happening in the world right now. And so first, I want to thank everybody who's in the service. Thank you for your service and to our country. And I'm very grateful for our freedoms here in America. So thank you very much for that. But, I think with the uncertainty and everything that's happening in the world, I think sometimes we hold a lot of that, right? And I come from a military family, generations and generations and generations of that. And so I wonder how much of that is held in the body, right? And then with having those panic attacks and things that are happening in the world, I wonder how many of us are really having those physical responses to maybe some of the things that we're reading, right? That's happening in social media, the responses to maybe some of the horrible, gruesome things we're reading on the Epstein files. So protect your energy at all costs with everything that's happening in the world. Yesterday, when I was speaking to my brother, I was telling him, it's so interesting that years ago I used to meditate every single day, 30 minutes a day, 45 minutes a day, sometimes even an hour a day. It was before I had the baby. And I had the time to do that, right? Because my other kids were older. And now I don't have the time to do that. But I do know the practice of meditation. So I do make it a point to still do those practices every day. Regardless if I can connect the way that I used to, I do know the practices. So sometimes the connection may not always be there the way that it was. But we know the disciplines and we know the practices. And so stay true to those practices, because what it will do is it will help you through trying times regardless. So where was my body holding the tension last week? In my chest. What was it trying to tell me? To hold true to my practices, to release it and let it go, right? And so that's what I had to continue to do. So I was able to breathe through it. I was able to lean into my husband. I was able to communicate through my practices, breathe and release it, right? Just because I know what to do through the practices doesn't mean that my body doesn't still experience these things. We are still having a human experience. We are still going through these things in life. So it's really important that we stay true to our practices and ground ourselves through these experiences. So today, it's so fitting that we're going to talk about the heart as a frequency amplifier. So let's go ahead and dive in. This one's really special because the heart is not just an emotional center of our body. It's an energy powerhouse, right? This is where it goes down. This is the place where our feelings, our intuition, our compassion, and truth, it all meets right here. All right, so let's begin with breath. It all begins with breath. Last week my husband had to remind me of that. Did I like it in the moment? Absolutely not. Did I need it? 100%. So let's just inhale gently. Exhale slowly. Let's let our body settle into that moment. and breaking patterns and building peace. I wrote emotions are like gratitude, love, and compassion and joy. They all resonate at really high frequencies, right? And that's the heart's language, frequency. Your heart doesn't speak in words. It speaks in resonance. It speaks in rhythm. It speaks in feeling. When your heart is open, your energy expands. And when your heart is guarded, right? Because sometimes we experience those traumas that we were talking about and we put up these walls, your energy contracts. When your heart is overwhelmed, your energy becomes scattered. And when your heart is grounded, your energy becomes coherent. Your heart is always communicating, and not just with your emotions, but with your mind, your body, and even your nervous system. So let's talk about coherence for a moment. Heart-brain coherence, it's the state where your heart and your mind, they're in a rhythm, and where your emotional world and your mental world are working together instead of against each other. I know you felt this before. It's the moment where you're calm for no reason. It's the moment where you feel clarity after confusion. It's the moment when you feel grounded, even in uncertainty. It's the moment when you feel connected to yourself, to others, or even to something bigger. That's coherence. It's alignment. It's the heart taking the lead. In everyday empathy, I talk about how empathy deepens connection. We need empathy right now. We need empathy more than anything else in the world right now. I know a lot of people are like, no, we don't, Ash. 1,000% we do. We're humans. We need that human connection. We need empathy right now. And in the in the empathy element, I talk about how emotional integrity, it shapes leadership. Both of these things, they begin in the heart, because the heart is where compassion lives. It's where understanding lives. It's where presence lives. It's where truth lives. Everything starts in the heart. We have to expand this. And it starts with empathy. It's right here, man. This is where the key is, right? So today, I want to guide you all in this simple practice. It's going to be one that helps tune into your heart at a higher frequency, right? And this is going to be called the gratitude pulse. So what we're going to do here is we're going to place one hand over the heart. All right. And this is going to, what we're going to do is we're just going to put that one hand over the heart. We're going to breathe slowly. We're going to just slow down our breath. Let's have those shoulders soften. And I just want you to bring one moment of gratitude to mind. It doesn't have to be big. It can be something simple. It can be a laugh, maybe just a simple sunrise, a quiet moment, maybe just a person you love. I want you to just hold that moment gently in your awareness. I want you to feel it. I want you to replay it over and let it warm your chest. Feel the joy it brings. Let it soften your breath. Let it expand your body. And with each inhale, I want you to breathe into that gratitude. And with each exhale, I want you to let it radiate outward through your chest, through your energy, through your presence. Let your heart amplify that frequency. Feel that joy. And now I want you to whisper internally, my heart is my compass. My heart is my compass, because it is. Your heart knows when something is right. Your heart knows when something is off. Your heart knows when to soften. Your heart knows when to protect. Your heart knows when to rise. Your heart's not weak. Your heart is wise. Before we close out today, I want to leave you with 2 gentle reflection prompts for this week. What emotions are leading your heart lately? And what emotions do you want to amplify moving forward? Let your answers come to you softly. Let them come to you honestly. This only works if you're honest with yourself. Let them come to you with compassion. Thank you for being here with me today. Thank you for listening to your heart. Thank you for choosing resonance over reaction. And as you move through your day, remember that your heart is a frequency amplifier and you get to choose what it amplifies. So until next time, this is Harmony Rising, and I'm glad you're here. Thank you for choosing to spend this time with me. And if today's episode supported you in any way, grounded you, or helped you reconnect with yourself, I'd love for you to share it with someone else who might need it too. And remember, peace is a practice, presence is a choice, and you are always worthy of coming home to yourself, because that's the purpose of it all. So until next time, this is Harmony Rising. Bye, beautiful people.